following announcement has been paid for by the Celtic World Order.
Hello, welcome back to Celtic World Order podcast. I'm always Steve O'Matt, and you join me at a peculiar hour because UK time, where you guys are right now, it is 4:39 a.m. as I'm recording this. That is, of course, because I'm away, currently in New York, and you join me from a hotel here in Manhattan in the Hilton. I've managed to con the staff here because I'm in an area that should be shut off in the hotel because everybody else is bustling. Thankfully, they let me get into this wee sort of back area, turn on the lights, and leave me to it. So, thank you very much to them for allowing this to happen. But as I say, I might be in the city that never sleeps, but Celtic World Order podcast that never sleeps also, because as I've said time and time again, if anything starts to motor, if there's any suggestions, any rumblings that we might be doing anything finally in this transfer window, that we would be here to talk about it and cover it. Now, Josh put out a little video the other day there talking about some of the things that might be happening, but it appears that since that went out, the most obvious one is it looks as if we are finally going to be getting a goalkeeper in place. Now, of course, is it what we expected? Well, some accounts maybe it is because it's someone who's out of contract and we could say the cheap option, the easy option, but at the same time it's not spending money, and that is always going to be a bear bug of any of our fans, including myself here, because we have absolute vast amounts of finance, we have huge amounts of cash in the bank, and we just don't seem to be acting. But as we say, let's treat these potential signings on their merits, and let's talk about them. As it says in the caption, let's talk about what we are not doing, because we need to be honest about it. Is it what we expected? Well, as I said, to some, yes it is, because it's almost the status quo, isn't it? We get to this summer period, we get to this big build-up stage, and we expect great things only to be pretty much let down. So let's look at it, let's treat it on its merits, and let's see what we are getting. So the name is, and it looks almost 100%, you can pretty much take this one to the bank, because Fabrizio Romano, of all people, has been a super agent. Usually when he says something is happening, it is happening, and the name is Kasper Schmeichel. Now, as I say, that to some may be completely uninspiring. We've just let Joe Hart go at 36. We're getting in Kasper Schmeichel, who's 37 years of age. He will be 38 come November the 5th this year coming up. 38 years of age. But as I've said time and time again on this podcast, age should be but a number. You should look at each player and their age as well and treat it on a player-by-player basis, based on their merits, who they are, what they're doing, where they've been. And Kasper Schmeichel, whether you are up for this or you're not, there's one thing you can't take away from him and say that he's been consistently playing right up until now, even though he's without club, he's been playing at a top level. Maybe you could go as far as to say an elite level, maybe in terms of the fact that he's currently played at the Euros, or was playing at the Euros. He played all 4 games for Denmark. He was at Anderlecht last season. Prior to that, it was Nice. Then, of course, it was Leicester. And then we started to get down his pecking order of his teams. But he's always been playing. He's always been at the front of games, and he has always been a guy who's a model professional. He doesn't look like he's, starting to go into his twilight years. And as I've said time and time again when we were talking about guys like Dubravka, I said, for example, that, again, another guy who's 37 years of age, or 36, 37, you could get 2 years out of them, because we've seen some really top goalkeepers over the years go into sort of late 30s, maybe, it's even 40s for goalkeepers. So goalkeepers are quite a rare breed in that they can really get good mileage out of them. Now, you could say, what's the difference between Joe Hart and Schmeichel? Is one an upgrade? Well, if you ask me, I would definitely say Kasper Schmeichel is an upgrade on Joe Hart, even at his age. I do genuinely believe that for a short-term fix, the word is it's a 1-year contract with the option of another, depending on how that goes. I definitely think you would get 1 full season out of him at top peak level, and then that becomes a question that he's got to have an honest conversation with himself. the manager, Brendan Rodgers, would need to have an honest conversation with him, and then you maybe take him into that second year. But I definitely think that in the short term, 1 year, you would get a very good goalkeeper with vast experiences. So who is he and what do we know about him? Well, apart from the obvious that he is the son of Peter Schmeichel. Now, Peter Schmeichel, he is not. But there's one thing you can't say, and that is that he is not a good goalkeeper in his own right, because he has been a fantastic goalkeeper. Let's break it down. Let's have a look at him. Well, he's had 723 senior club appearances, and that equates to a hefty 65,070 minutes of football game time in his career. Absolutely incredible. And by and large, he has been the number one at most clubs that he's been at. We start back up to assistants in Notts County and that, but the teams of note that folk will remember Casper Schmeichel for: Coventry, Man City, Leeds, and of course Leicester, where he also worked under Brendan Rodgers. So with this one, yes, it's something that's so obvious, it's right in front of your eyes, and we've spoke about, the manager wanting to go to the well of guys that he's previously worked with before. We've had, let's be honest, far more inspiring names have been linked, but whether that's just paper talk or whatever is unknown. The likes of Marty, that's an exciting one. Casper Schmeichel, maybe not so, but as I say, you can't deny his credentials. He is a fantastic goalkeeper. Prior, so what's he been doing since we know that he played at Leicester? He's got vast experience. He's played the Champions League, he's played the Europa League, he's played at World Cups, he's played at Euros. He's just recently, off the back of 4 games at the Euros there in Germany. Prior to that, well, he was currently last season at Anderlecht. Now, Anderlecht didn't actually get into any form of European football last season, so it was strictly down to business, but he played absolutely every single game for them in a season where they finished second place. He took in 32 appearances in all competitions. Again, as I says, he was nailed down as their number one goalkeeper. And there was a really interesting stat that I saw earlier today, which said that out of about 150 shots that were on target against Casper Schmeichel in that league last season, he saved 80% of them. Now, that's one thing he's always been. He's been a very good shot stopper, but he's also got his own positives and credentials and stuff that he does, perhaps we've maybe been lacking on, whereby he'll be not shy to go for a cross. He's certainly very vocal, and one thing he is a leader, so you would get loads of experience, that leadership quality, which is vital at the back, particularly when we don't really know what the quality of the forwards are going to be. The defenders are going to be in front of them are. So to get that level of experience is absolutely pivotal. In terms of prior to being at Anderlecht, he also was at top league. He was playing at League One or League Un in France with Nice again in that 22-23 season. He put in 46 appearances, so he was a mainstay in that side as well. So as I said, he's been playing at top levels consistently up to date, and as I say, he's just off the back 4 games in the Euros where he conceded 4 goals, but when you look at the actual results, it was a 2-0 loss to a very good Germany team, a 1-each draw with England, and similarly with Slovenia. So it actually had a pretty decent personal performance for him at the Euros, and certainly any of the games that I saw, I didn't think he looked at a guy who was on the wind down. He didn't look like a guy who was aging. Now, as I say, it's not bad stats, and 105 Denmark senior first team caps. Again, you don't get these things if you are not a top goalkeeper, if you're not a top professional, and that is undoubtedly what he is. So that's the positives, if you want to call it that. That's looking at it through the numbers and looking at it objectively. But if we are being completely and utterly honest here, there's no doubt that, yes, we are cheaping out, and I can understand why there's large sections of our fan base who are furious, who are raging, rolling their eyes, and everything else in between. Because when you are seeing these apparent links with guys, like Beginder, young, exciting goalkeeper at Man United, talk 6 million, or you're talking about even Castells, who's out of contract, but a far more exciting, younger, more professionally rounded goalkeeper, a bit more sexy, if you want to call it that, in terms of name value and prestige. But again, Casper Schmeichel, taking nothing away from him, maybe that's been unfair to him there saying that, but certainly I can understand why folk get more excited around that. The guy Jensen at Sparta Prague, for me, and I've been on record saying this before, that's not really one that does much for me. The reason being, as I said, and this might sort of contradict itself, because people say, well, Kasper Schmeichel out of contract, why didn't Anderlecht want to keep him on if he was that good? Well, who knows, there's possibly many reasons. He might just want to return back to the UK, where he's pretty much been settled for the largest part of his career. Who knows? And he wants to wind down and finish up his time in the UK. That's probably quite feasible. But the one for Jensen, just as a digress for me, was very much because I was thinking to myself, well, he's supposed to be your stick-on first-choice goalkeeper. He's young, he's got plenty of mileage in him, but you're going to sell him for £4 million. Now, to me, you do not sell your first-choice goalkeeper for £4 million. It just doesn't happen. So for me, that I would be more inclined to say maybe he's not as good as people believe, and that's why Sparta are willing to cut the cord and let him go for such a low value fee, which to me is just very strange. I expect if you are wanting to go and get a first choice goalkeeper, you're looking at paying what we were apparently going to do with Livakovic, like $7 million, Bayinda $6 million. Those are the kind of figures I expect you to be getting or paying for a first choice goalkeeper at a team, not $4 million. That for me just did the alarm bells ringing. So as I say, in terms of looking at the Kasper Schmeichel thing, to get him on wages for one season, possibly two, I'm all for it, because I think that, as I say, is a short-term plug. Now, that's what I want to go on record and be categorically clear about. It's a short-term plug. This is not going to be, it's not the answer. It's a temporary solution. And I've used that a lot where it says people are they're an option, not the solution. I think at this moment in time, he is an option. I think he's a very good option, but he's certainly not the solution, because it's such short-term thinking. And I can understand that. I'm personally sitting here and I'm also pretty pissed off, if I'm being honest with you. I'm not going to turn my nose up at Kasper Schmeichel. We said we want experience, we want European champions ready, and he ticks all those boxes. He absolutely ticks every single one of those boxes, what we're needing. He's a level up on Joe Hart, who's just going out the door. He's got equally as much, if not more, experience than Joe Hart. That's up for debate. You can argue that all you want. He ticks all the boxes. But he is, as I say, judge him on merits. Yep, 37 going 38. But as I say, look at what I've just told you about him. He's been playing at a high level. So he is going to be fully in the flow. And as I said, when I watched him at the Euros, he certainly didn't look like a guy who had missed a beat. So I'd be fully confident that this upcoming season, if he's going to be the number one between sticks, that we will have no issues with Kasper Schmeichel. However, it does not excuse the fact that we have known for the best part of 4+ months that we needed a first choice goalkeeper. And this is what I'm saying. This is why it can come back to it looking so obvious, it looking just classic Celtic. We have literally done zero scouting, it would appear. Zero scouting on this goalkeeping situation. And in my judgment, he's been notebook and went, I know Kasper Schmeichel, and let's get him in. There is no doubt in my mind that that's what's happened. Quite frankly, that is worrying. Quite frankly, that is concerning, and it's also pretty embarrassing. It really is. It's pretty embarrassing. We should be going out there, and we should, with the resources that we have, we should be having a superior scouting network, where we should have multiple top options to go for. It's not as if we're shy a few bucks, and I can understand why people are furious now. We need. Siegrist is a guy who looks as if he's pretty much on the way out. So we're going to bring up Emi? Are we? Probably not. We've got the Baniac sitting about, but he's just not. He's not even should be a bloody well option, let alone a solution. So we really need to be going out and identifying another goalkeeper. And this is what I've said before, and there's names like Dubravka and stuff like that. I'm okay with Kasper Schmeichel being the number one for this upcoming season. But I want us to at least have in someone who's going to be the heir to the throne. The next guy to step up, who's going to do whatever he needs to do to settle in. Then once Schmeichel's years up or whatever, he needs to step up. transition nice and smooth. That is what Celtic need. That's what we are begging for. And there's quite frankly no excuse for us to be sitting going into a season with, possibly Bain, Schmeichel and a youth goalkeeper as the options. Because God forbid Schmeichel was to get injured, we are leaving ourselves open to an absolute world of pain. That's all I want to say about the goalkeeping situation for the time being. That's my thoughts on it. As I say, I will take it at face value, but I am not blind to the fact that we are being done here by the board once again. This board are sitting, counting their readies, looking at mass profits coming in, and let's forget about everything else we spoke about, the Champions League money, the league winning money, etc., etc. You've also got money coming in, millions coming in for players on international duty, and then we'll get on to the sales, which we're about to talk about. We are absolutely done once more. We are getting taken for idiots, and have not even offered us a drink before they're going to take us for a ride. That's just the level of contempt, unfortunately, this board seems to have for us fans. People ourselves go to the well every single season without fail, without question, and we're getting taken an absolute liberty. That's all I want to say about that. So we talk about other movements. What is actually going to happen? Well, it seems the Genk thing with O is absolutely pretty much done. He's over there, he's getting ready for a medical. Terms are agreed. Again, it's made about that 3.5 million, with add-ons going over possibly just over 4 million. Again, absolutely fantastic piece of business. This will get me on as a great segue into the other problem, the striker issue. Adam Ida, he was the guy that we were all expecting. He was the stick-on. He was one of two names that we expected to be in the door right now that we were going to be talking about. It was going to be Bernardo. It was going to be Ida. It was an absolute layup. They were in. Fans wanted them by all accounts. They played pretty well. They showed their worth. But we find ourselves again several weeks down, and we're bickering, we're debating, we are negotiating and getting nowhere. So Stephen McGowan, as we all know, very reliable source in the media when it comes to Celtic. You could call him Celtic's lackey, their go-to guy. If there's a story that they want to drip feed or something they want to throw out there, Stephen McGowan's the man that reports it, and you can pretty much, again, take most of his reports to the bank as they're happening. He reported earlier today for me, that a £4.5 million bid had been rejected, and the wording that he put in there, which is very interesting, was that Norwich stated that they have yet to receive an offer which they believe is going to trigger serious talks. Again, Celtic all over the back. Why did we go in with this cheapo approach? We knew that apparently the original asking price was £6 million. But no, we'll go in with 4.5 million, won't we? Absolutely embarrassing stuff. See if you want a player. See if Brendan Rodgers wants Adam Ida. You give him the money. What's it going to be? 6? Is that the starter? Go in at 6. I don't mind going in at 6. See if he wants 7. Then you work for there. But at least give them what you knew to be the original asking price, for crying out loud. If they think they are going to get a guy who, let's face it, made huge contributions to our team and single-handedly delivered the Scottish Cup, that just shot his stock through the roof. And Celtic really thought that they could go into that and negotiate and give £4.5 million for the guy. Come on. Absolutely embarrassing. Now, this is where we find ourselves in a sticky wick, because that will leave us with Kyogo, because, as I say, that's happened. He's away. He's gone. And that's going to leave us with one striker in Kyogo. Now, Kyogo started his pre-season against these idiot teams so far very well, but that is not enough. He's playing against Ayr, Queen's Park. Yep, great. Confidence booster for a goal, a striker to get the goals in early, but it's dross. And we all saw how Kyogo wasn't exactly fitting the system that Rodgers wanted to play, and we weren't seeming to get the best out of him. That may change, of course, but we can't just depend on him, because it was hot and cold, and Ida came in and he supplemented it, and he showed that he could be depended on. But at real risk, we are just over 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks away, from the start of a new season. And again, we've got nothing to show for it. These aren't secrets. We knew that O was going to be going. The manager identified that he didn't want him, he wasn't interested. He also identified that Ida was his guy. And we've done nothing. So it's not just ourselves that are getting the absolute mickey taken out of us, but it appears that it's our manager, despite his very firm words that he's been trying to come out and take almost these shots at the brow, where he says that we knew we needed players in before going to America. And he reiterated that, and it was a veiled but still very direct shot and message to the board. And he just isn't getting the tools. There's just simply no excuse here. Now, what I found very, very interesting, Josh picked up on it and he mentioned it the other day, was Vata. Rocco Vata finds himself away to Watford, but the wording for the manager was that he had told Vata that he was going to be one of 3 strikers for us in the upcoming season. Now, I don't know about yourselves, let me know what you think, but see, for me, that is, again, and I hate using the word because it's buzzword bingo here, it's embarrassing. See if you were to sit me down right now and say, Steve-O, see for the upcoming season, the one a very, very massive pivotal season where you are getting into a new format, Champions League, and you're going to have to defend your league and Scottish Cup next season, and your strikers are going to be Kyogo, maybe Adam Ida, and your third choice is going to be Rocco Vata. No, come on. That, again, has the alarm bells ringing. It is happening right before your eyes. Wake up, people. Wake up. We are watching downgrading against a massive financial backdrop once again, because I have been on this podcast and I have ripped O to absolute shreds. However, would I rather he was my third choice striker than Rocco Vata? Absolutely. Do you know why? Because he's a striker. He's an actual striker. And for all that he scored goals. He had an alright goals to time on the pitch ratio. Vata showed nothing in my eyes that showed or looked as if he was going to be anywhere a level up. So that worries me. That really, really worries me that we could end up with Kyogo, possibly. I'm saying possibly because we're still bickering over the fee. So who's that third person going to be? If we thought Rocco Vata was able to be that third choice, then I'm sorry, that really, really worries me, because we were hoping to be getting someone of the quality of Ida, and then maybe something very close to Ida in terms of where they are and maybe a bit of experience. So I think what you're probably going to end up with is you're going to end up with Kyogo, Ida, and somebody on loan once again. Probably somebody young who's just going to be happy to sit on a bench, which probably means they're not going to be of any great quality. That is shameful if that's the route that we go down. Particularly, as I say, is getting into 8 games in a new look Champions League, where you can actually really get your teeth into that, and you can still make the grade, you can scrape through the grade to get into those next rounds. But no, as usual, we're just going to remain with the status quo, aren't we? It is completely shameful. And I sit here on the 14th of July, scunnered, to be honest with you, scunnered, because it is embarrassing the way that we're conducting our business. Not one single player in the door. More likely to leave, more gone actually, than brought in, because none's came in the door, in case you're not aware. Zero. Nothing's happening. And that goes on to the next one that we were expecting, doesn't it? Bernardo. We managed to get the fee down. Again, that was meant to be 5 to 6 million, and we managed to whittle that down. Again, reports have come out, we've agreed 3.5 million plus add-ons. There was the bickering about the wages, but it appears that Celtic have acquiesced and they are going to start giving something that resembles acceptable wages for the guy. And the talks are ongoing. We are due to fly out to the USA for our pre-season. We'll play Chelsea, we'll play Man City, and we'll play one of the MLS sides. I would, if I was a gambling man, I think you're going to get Kasper Schmeichel in the door. You'll probably get Bernardo in the door. I think that'll be a lot. I think the Eder thing will rumble on to the 11th hour, as it always does with Celtic, and we will have an absolute scramble. Now, what really concerns me is the manager said himself, we find ourselves 3 down and we have not strengthened. Now, 3 are obvious, that's Eder, Bernardo, and Joe Hart. It seems that we've got a replacement for one of them incoming. Okay, fine. But it still doesn't, excuse the massive chasms across the squad of what we need. Where do we start? It's been no secret for about 3 seasons now. We've needed another strong quality left back option. But I've got a wee list here. Let me dive in here. We look at players who are likely to go or are pretty much out the building. Bernabe, Lagerbielke, Kobayashi, then guys who have left, Turnbull. You've got all pretty much ready to go. Hart is gone. Secrets, as I say, is all but gone. Not even been around pre-season. Tells you he is a guy who's about to go. Mikey Johnson's an interesting one. That might still happen. They might still be interesting, but I'm sure it'll also be. It'll be like a new signing. Again, just an easy way to cheap out to do nothing. But then we've got Abada who left, who we never truly replaced as well. Jota left as we know, and I'm winding the back of the season there, but we never really replaced Jota adequately. And then we've got O'Reilly, who really could be on the cusp of leaving, because Atalanta are now entering the race, £15 million promptly thrown out, and rightfully so there. But the concerning thing is he is more than likely, you can put your money on it that is going to be the guy who is more than likely to leave. And again, in classic Celtic tactics, not because, we have to, but teams won't. They'll slowly wean that transfer out of these teams. No team's just going to come in and go, boom, there you go, 25 or 26, whatever, million for him straight away. It just isn't going to happen, because that's a huge chunk of change. Now, I think he's worth that. I think we should be demanding that. Of course we should. But I think what you'll end up with, as we always do, you look at all of our big players that always seem to leave, Edward, Dembele, Tierney. What is the main factor in all these transfers? They leave at the 11th hour. They drag on. Right near the end, you'll probably see O'Reilly play the first couple of games in the league. And then right at the death, boom, all right, okay, we'll give you the money. And they'll buy him. And we'll be sitting going like that. Right, who can we get in on loan? Because that's what we'll do. There's no real forward planning, and it is a sad indictment of where we are. We are sitting here, as I say, on the cusp of absolute financial insanity for a club of our size. We are about to eclipse anything that we have ever done from a financial generation standpoint. We literally have our foot on the neck of Rangers, who, and I quote, their manager has come out only again today, my time, and he stated that they simply cannot buy players. I believe they cannot afford more players right now, and that he had different expectations of what he was going to get served up when he went to the club. Now we see the players that they're getting in. They've got in a few players. Of course they have. Now, I've said this time again, I know nothing about them. You know nothing about them. And I know a lot of our fans will sit there and scoff and laugh and whatever and say, they're getting the guys in the cheap, nobody knows who they are and whatever. It's irrelevant. All that matters is him or their scouting network have went, I like the look at that. Can you get me them in, please? And they've done it. They have given their manager the tools that he's asked for. Our manager, on the other hand, with all the financial, capabilities that are sitting there available to him, we have delivered him that. Absolutely nothing. And once again, we find ourselves getting ready to go into a new season weaker than we were. And that frightens me. At this moment in time, that frightens me. Now, I have always tried to be honest with yourselves, with anybody that I speak to. I am not a happy clapper. I am not got a problem with telling it like it is. And see if I get it wrong. See if Celtic somehow blindside me, you, I, and everybody else in between, and they give us about 5 quality signs. I will hold my hands up and go, do you know what, I was wrong. Maybe they did have irons in the fire. Well done, Celtic. But this is football fandom. I say that all the time. Of course we're reactionary. Ask Paddy. I've asked Josh. I've asked yourselves. How late is too late? And for me, this is the point where it is becoming too late, because it doesn't look like there's any strategy. It doesn't look like there's any planning. It doesn't look like there's any forward thinking. And it certainly doesn't look like there's any interest in trying to tool up to take on this new format Champions League and actually try to give a good account of ourselves. Now, when I reflect on the Champions League of last season, it was fine, and I hate the term, it's fine margins now. I always slag that term off, but one thing I always say is it's fine margins that you can completely control. It's not like fine margins of, if that goal wasn't, if that defender wasn't standing there or he played a guy offside, we wouldn't have lost that game. No, not those kind of fine margins, they kind of fine margins. Because when you looked at that Celtic team, you went, you know what, see if we had maybe 3 quality players dotted in amongst that squad that we had, with a bit of experience, then your draws could have turned into wins. Your narrow defeats could have turned into draws. And we probably could have got out that group. But we didn't do it then. So there's really no excuse now, because all the readies that were in the bank, as I've said it again, they are literally just overnight, boom, there you go, doubled and then some. If Celtic come out of this transfer window posting a profit, I will be absolutely furious, and I'm sure every single one of you will be. There's a couple of accounts out there, I don't need to name them, who have said this time and time again. Celtic more than likely go and sell, they maybe sell a Mikey Johnson, they get a couple of guys off the books, they then go and sell Matt O'Reilly at the 11th hour for 25 maybe plus million, and then they've maybe spent 9 million on Ida and Bernardo, and they get a couple of folk on loan, and they post now because on like a heavy 15 million plus profit. That would be Celtic beyond Celtic, wouldn't it? But it wouldn't surprise me. That's all I really wanted to talk about. As I say, where are you at? Let me know in the comments below. Where are you feeling about where we are not at in this transfer window? Where our squad is, how things look. Are you got the same concerns as me getting into this new season? As I say, you just have to look at those. People obviously don't look over the fence. Yes, let's do, because you have got a manager peeling back the curtain, telling you that we are done. This is what I've got. We can't go and buy anybody else. It just ain't happening. Now, do you look across the city and look at that squad and think, that's a really frightening squad, I'm terrified of that? No, I don't. I think probably even with the squad that we've got, if you add in Ida and Bernardo again, I think you could get over the line. I think we could. But my concern lies with, we saw the dip in Celtic's form last season. Yes, we picked it up at the split and we barnstormed it and we went on and we done what we knew we could do, what was in there, put in the performances, we looked more like we expected. Over the course of a season, as we've seen, there can be slips here and there, and I don't want it to be nip and tuck. I don't want it to be as close as it was last season. That should have been a shot across the brows, that even a very, very average Rangers team who had been in turmoil and sacked a manager could run us close, could run what we had in that squad close. So trying to do the same thing over and over and over again is the epitome of insanity. And that's what concerns me about this board. It also concerns me the fact that the manager has gone back down that route again, where he's putting out wee pot shots to try and fire a message out to them. Because I genuinely thought, I sat here at the end the season after we'd lifted the Scottish Cup, and I thought to myself, right, the manager sounds far more positive. He sounds more upbeat. It seems like he's more of himself. The mojo's back. I hope, I assume, I think he's been given some sort of assurances of what's going to go down in the summer. And then we wait, and we wait, and we wait, and we wait. And then we see the frustration. We can see it on his face when he's doing his interviews. He does well putting on a smile, but you can tell with that wee bit of body language and those sort of comments that he's feeding out that he's not a happy camper. And we need our manager, the best version of himself, to get the best version of what we've got on the pitch. I don't want to see him disenfranchised, disillusioned, and that eating into the players. And God forbid it goes so horribly wrong that he ends up walking because he's just been, conned once again. These are my concerns, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that has got them out there. Celtic board can alleviate them like that, because I don't care what people say. I don't care what spin that the manager might, or any of the his staff, if they're interviewed, might put on of this. It's a difficult time to get players in. No, it's not. It's only as difficult as you want to make it. Say it time and time again, with the money that we have, go out and ask the hard, serious questions to these clubs. If you've identified the player that you want, go out there, show them the colour of your money, and put in a proper bid. We keep talking about how we are one of the most fantastic, prestigious big clubs, and we sell ourselves like we're something amazing. And we are, we're passionate fans. We think that as fans, we think that there is no club better than Celtic. That's why we're here. But see, from an actual reality standpoint, see if Celtic want to be considered to be a big club and start acting like it. It's fine going and getting a new fancy training ground and all that down in the old Barrafield and going, look at what we're doing, look how progressive we are. No, it starts on the field. Progression starts on the field. It says on the crest, the Celtic Football Club 1888. It doesn't say the football business Celtic Enterprise 1888. And sometimes I think that's where our board severely fall down. For all that they are, I give them credit. They are a money-making machine, a monster. As a business, we are run fantastically. But as a football club, we are run like a bowling club. We cut corners, we scrimp, we save, and we try to get by with the bare minimum. Celtic, do what you need to do. Get out there, get these players in the door. Because this is what me, you, every other fan elsewhere is desperate to see. We have the reserves, we have the finances. There is no excuse. Go and get Bernardo. Go and get Ida. Get Schmeichel in the door. And then let's start addressing the other positions that we need. The manager said last season that we needed 6 or 7 quality signings. 6 or 7. We lost 3 players. So if you want to go there, you're talking maybe 10. And right now that just seems like pie in the sky. We could secure 3 if we got maybe another 3 good quality signings. And I stress good quality signings. 3, maybe another 4, I would be happy. And then see if we supplemented them with loans, then that's fine. But we need to get those 3 in minimum, and then we need at least 3 to 4 on top of it to really supplement the quality, because we will be getting rid of a lot of junk, and we need to replace that with quality. There's no point to get out. And as I say, on top of them, those that I've just named, I say that again, another good quality striker, we need 2 strikers here. And I'm not buying the fact that Rudy Vata's boy, Rocco, was going to be considered to be our 3rd striker. That is an absolute shambles. That will not be tolerated. It certainly won't be tolerated by myself as a fan. And I'm pretty sure there'll be many out there who'll be feeling exactly the same. So anyway, the time here is now 20 past 12 in New York. So I'm going to close this down and I'm going to go get myself a pint at the bar to chill out, because it's been very, very frustrating sitting here. Very frustrating, constantly flicking through X, looking, have we signed somebody, not waiting for those texts to come through, and it is getting frustrating, and I can sense it. I've been listening to some other podcasts, check them out. There's plenty of great podcasts out there. I've been reading the articles. I've been desperate for something to get excited about. Come on, Celtic, make it happen. So anyway, thanks again for joining me. This will go up in the morning. Hopefully you watch it and you enjoy it retrospectively. Let me know, as I say, what your thoughts are on what I've just discussed here. What do you want to see? What do you expect to see? What is considered acceptable, in your opinion, for Celtic ahead of the new season before that window shuts? What do you think that we need? And do you think, more importantly, that we will get it? As I say time again, Celtic World Order, the community is growing. Thank you to every single one of you for doing it. We really do appreciate your support. If you haven't done it, if this is your first time here, make sure you hit the bell icon and subscribe to the channel. Every time we go live, you'll get notified and you won't miss a beat. If you like what you've seen and heard, give it a wee thumbs up. If you want to help get the community growing, extend the reach, you can share this video. It just helps us get more eyeballs into the channel and grow further. If you want to see us elsewhere, we're on X at CWPod1888. You also find me, Josh Paddy's. Our personal handles are in there as well. And last but not least, we are on Facebook, of course, at Celtic World Order Podcast, if you want to connect with us there. So until the next time, hopefully we'll have something exciting to talk about. And as I say, if that happens, get yourself here, because we'll be on here talking about it. So whatever you are doing with the rest of your day, enjoy yourself, take care, and as always, hail, hail. See you later.